Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to a Friday night edition of MangaPod. We are usually on Tuesdays, but we shifted it around a little bit this week. If you never joined us for a MangaPod before, we are a podcast in which we all get together after we've read all or part of a manga, and then we discuss it. Friendship, love, and lots of spoilers. This week we are talking Yona of the Dawn, chapters 24 through 47. I am Erin Hapley, I'm your host, and with me are my two lovely co-hosts. If you want to introduce yourself, say who you are. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Dodger. And I was the reason we didn't do it on Tuesday. So direct all complaints to Dodger at MangaPod.tv.
Wait. Hold on. At TV? Is that what you said, or .tv? It doesn't exist.
MangaPod at TV.
Oh, okay. Hang on. So far that at this is like when we made MangaPod.
This is just like when we made MangaPod, yeah.
No.
The best.
It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist.
My name's Lou, and I don't have a MangaPod email, and I'm really upset about it.
You gotta get on that MangaPod at MangaPod.tv.
Yeah.
MangaPod. Duger is low. Is Lou low too?
Hello.
Literally.
Ole. I
I have not touched this since the last time, so I don't know how that happened.
Come on, let's kick. We can kick the ball.
What about
Come on,
now?
let's kick.
Hi.
We
Hi.
can kick the ball.
This is
Ole.
Erin.
Ole. Am I still quiet?
Yeah, I don't have
I
a fun
turned-
little song to sing, so I'll just wait.
I
Chat,
didn't-
let me know if I'm too quiet.
I didn't do our sound check because I was like, I haven't fucking touched this. It's fine.
Right. Yeah.
And of course.
That's the joy of audio is the second that you're like not double checking it, everything's falling apart.
I didn't do one of our, I don't know if you guys know this, but we do our sound checks before. We make funny little noises. And I didn't do that this week because I was like, we don't need to. It's fine. Should have done the noise. Should have done the noise.
Like, technological problems is par for the course for MangaPod.
Yeah.
We have a problem with having too much faith in technology, and it always bites us in the ass.
It's true.
100%. But if you never joined us, for a MangaPod before.
I was gonna say, why does it say profile on this?
There you go, did it again. I'm turning Lou up. I'm adjusting. Okay. All right. If you've never joined us for a MangaPod before, what we like to do is give you a short spoiler-free description of the manga that we read, aka summary. And then we'll give you our spoiler-free recommendations, whether we think you should spend time going to read this manga or not. That way, if it sounds like something you are interested in, you can take your leave once we get to spoiler section. And then go read it and come back and watch about it this later. This is our second time talking Yona of the Dawn, but we still would appreciate no spoilers in chat until we get to spoiler section. Once we are in spoiler section, please don't post any spoilers for anything past chapter 47. We are very harsh on spoilers. Don't post any fake spoilers because we will not know the difference. Don't post any spoilers for the anime because I don't think any of us have watched that either. So I'm gonna read description. Oh, hold on. Once upon a kingdom. Nope, just kidding. Starting over. Once upon a time, The kingdom of Koka was ruled by a red dragon in human form. By his side, 4 warriors imbued with dragon blood helped him lead the kingdom to prosperity. Time passed, and this tale became a legend to tell children. As the sole princess of Koka, Yona lives a life of lavish ease, in love with her cousin, Suwon, and protected by her bodyguard, Sunhak. She wants for nothing and remains sheltered from the hurrying reality outside the castle walls. Contrary to this perfect illusion, Koka is about to undergo a political upheaval for her beloved Sunwon stages. Know what? Spoilers. Blank happens, and Yona is forced to flee with only Hak by her side. Though surrounded by enemies on all sides, the banished princess still yearns to save her kingdom. Her solution comes from an exiled priest who tells her that her only hope is to find the 4 legendary dragon warriors. Guided by the seemingly fictitious myth, Yona sets out to find these warriors, determined to restore her kingdom. Boom.
Yes.
Cool.
Got a little. A little lightheaded at the end there. All right, let's go around spoiler-free recommendations. I can go first.
Go for it.
We read Yona before, and I remember thoroughly enjoying it and actually being very hyped and finding it to be one of the better shoujo mangas out there of recent. And I still think it's up there in terms of being a very solid shoujo and having strong characters and just being really enjoyable and not. And even if it messes around with tropes, it doesn't feel like super cliche. And I really like Yona as a character. This batch of reading was a little weird to me. I don't know if we'll get into it more. But weird in terms of how I was expecting to go into it. But I still think Yona, if you're looking for a shoujo or even a fantasy adventure manga, I still think it's one that would be fun and time to like go and read it. It's less of a like urgent need to go and check it out. But if you're looking for something that's like fantasy, adventure, found family with really pretty art, then this is one to go and look at, I think.
Okay, I'll go next. So I also enjoyed the first batch of reading of this manga. And I did also have that strange feeling going into this reading, mainly because the first few chapters that we read were like the end of an arc.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like we had that cooling down period, like after the climax and before we transitioned into the next arc. And I felt like that threw things off. So really it's, I guess, how we scheduled this reading, since we didn't know what we were getting into the first time.
Right.
That kind of like tainted this experience a bit. That said, I still enjoyed what we got. I like Yona a lot as a character. I like that she is actively participating in this conflict and isn't just a damsel in distress. Mm-hmm. Like she's very much invested in standing up for herself and what she believes in. So yeah, I absolutely recommend it. I haven't seen the anime. My daughter has seen the anime and she absolutely loves it.
Aw.
So I know she recommends that.
Yeah. I was saying when we were on pre-show, I remember really liking it, but I remember it being a bit more I don't remember it feeling as shoujo as it does.
Yeah.
Like reading this section, I was like, oh yeah, this is a shoujo manga. It's not just like a period piece about a lady and her dragon warriors. Or like it definitely feels like a shoujo. It has good humor moments. It has sort of like lively, endearing characters. Yeah, it's good. It's fun. And I did really enjoy it this time as well. So I would definitely recommend it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, I just had frog in my throat.
Like you do.
So, what?
Like you do.
Like I do. Always.
Like humans do.
Did you guys see the picture of? Never mind. This is not.
No, finish it.
The picture of that one grumpy frog. Like, did you guys see the picture of that going around? It's called like the black something frog, rain frog, and he's just like, hold on, okay. Wait. Okay.
Just replace my picture with it.
I was gonna say, I was like, I'll just throw this on some of us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here,
I want to be a grumpy frog.
I would also like to be a grumpy frog.
Oh, okay. I'm not even gonna show you guys first. I'm just gonna.
Okay, perfect. I'm just gonna watch the stream and let it be a beautiful surprise.
Yeah. There it is.
I'm ready.
Okay. Hang on.
Oh, I'm so grumpy. Ooh.
There we go.
It's great. It's great.
Ooh.
I liked Yona of the Dawn. Ooh, I liked it a lot. Ooh.
This is
Anyway,
great.
no, I haven't seen that picture before. Why did that come up?
It really resonates with me. I'm sorry. I'm just captivated.
I don't remember why I brought that up because all I can hear is Doctor's voice.
You were saying there was a frog in your throat, like there is with people.
There we go.
Sometimes.
And I was just imagining this is the frog that's in people's throats.
Can I tell you what I thought you were going to say when you started off with, have you guys seen?
Yeah. What?
I thought that you were going to ask if we had seen the picture, the Area 51 goof picture with the giant alien in the background, and then just like copy pasted people Naruto running.
No, I've seen the guy actually running behind them in the news thing. Oh my god, it's so good. I was like, this is a day that's gonna live forever. This will be in history books. That
Apparently,
picture.
only like 50 people showed up or something.
Really?
It wasn't quite the storm that. It wasn't quite the Naruto storm everybody was hoping for.
But there's still gonna.
There was a clap them cheeks chant going on. That was something. Yeah, it was on. It was like at 10. Yeah, exactly. Like 8 million views on Twitter. It was wild.
What?
Because you're gonna make the aliens clap them cheeks.
Yeah.
Look on Aaron's face is bringing me back to life. Let's do this. Let's talk about Yona of the Dawn.
I'm going to the spoiler section.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yona's God. Also Hawk.
Hawk is God.
Hawk is God. Xeno is God. All right, so we kind of already touched on like what we were expecting going into this. Do you guys have anything for spoiler Lee that you would want to bring up in terms of like what you were expecting?
No. Just like what I had said before. I forgot that there was like some really good humor, like very shoujo feeling humor in this.
Mm-hmm.
That totally worked for me. And I was like, oh, that was a funny moment.
Yes.
I did want to say that from the section of reading where we left off, according to my little girl, she said that it's right around where the anime ends.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so like
what we read this time is beyond the anime for the most part.
Like the last few chapters go. So basically, the last dragon shows up, and then the anime ends.
Oh.
So that's what she said.
So Xeno shows up, and that's where the anime ends?
Yes.
Okay.
Wow, that sucks.
Yeah. What a horrible.
Shout out to all of the Yona of the Dawn fans.
Yeah. Sorry. I feel you. I agree. I thought that going into it, I remember being very endeared by the characters, but I didn't remember the humor hitting as well as it did. Right. And honestly, for some reason, I didn't remember a whole ton. I remembered Yona and I remembered Hawk. And those were like the only two that I could picture and remember. Yeah. Remember loving all of that. And so it was kind of a fresh like breath of air to go in and not having remembered Pretty Boy, Yoon, and the Kija, the dragon hand.
Yeah.
It was like
I can only think of him as White Dragon because so many characters just call him White Dragon.
Yes. Yeah. And like I like that they all have like those nicknames too. But yeah, I couldn't remember who he was. Even though he's kind of like the weakest character, I think. Yeah. Like we can get into that. But yeah, I was expecting to go in like really excited because I remember loving it, and then I was like, wait, why did I love this? But then I kind of got reminded while I was reading it. I was like, oh, okay, I remember this part. Right. Yeah. All right, so let's talk arcs. So we kind of had like one really main arc that we focused on, and that was finding dragon, flirty dragon boy,
Jaha. Yes, green dragon.
And so that was Jae-hee. Yeah, are they Chinese Korean names? I'm trying to.
I don't know.
I'm not sure. So pronunciation is probably all over the place, like it usually is for me. But just apologies. And so we had the end of Wolf Boy, and then the big arc was Green Dragon and the pirates.
The pirate arc, so, if you will.
Yes.
Yeah, the One Piece arc.
Yes. Yeah.
My favorite part was when Luffy came and punched the guy in the face.
Luffy. What, bro?
Captain Granny.
I said Captain Granny.
Oh my gosh, best.
That's pretty great.
Best mom ever.
Yeah.
I loved her so much.
I decided that I loved her when all of the pirates were like, they would kill us. How come we're not allowed to kill them? And she was like, because I love all of you, and I'm not going to turn people I love into killers. And they all just start crying. It's like best.
I felt that. It was so good. And you never it's so rare to see an older woman in anime in general having more than just like a one-off or being the advisor to a bride or something like that. So to have her in that role and like what she played was so unexpectedly awesome. And to have her character feel like a character and not just like a gruffy old woman, like, because that character type is so rare in anime. Like, I feel like anytime I think of like an old like grandma in anime, they are all the same. Like, it's very easy to like feel like, oh, this is what they're gonna say, this is what they look like. So it just felt really nice to have her there. I really liked her.
Me too.
Same.
What? Go.
I was gonna say like, but how did y'all feel about the Green Dragon?
Such a flirty little guy. Flirty guy.
He's a little shit.
He's a little shit.
Right?
Chaotic neutral. Is that what it?
Yeah.
My boy.
Okay. This isn't in my interest, so I'm out.
Love that he just like kind of leaves Hawk hanging a few times. Hawk's just like, something I don't like about you.
I also love that it took so many of those moments of like Hawk and the Green Dragon hanging out, and then the Green Dragon would disappear, and then everybody else would show up and be like, apparently the Green Dragon was just here, and Hawk was like, fuck, the Green Dragon was here and that guy was here? God. Like, come on.
I know, I was like, Hawk, you're not this oblivious.
Right?
No, clearly he is.
Apparently. I will say that I did enjoy like how anticlimactic discovering those two, like both him and Zeno were, where it was just like, all right, this is going to be forever. It's going to take so long for us to find them. And then it was like, oh, nope, that's not what we want to do. Here they are.
Your butt got stuck in a pot. You're welcome. There they are.
There it is. But what did you guys think about his personality and like how he's adding to the group?
More than anything, I like him as a foil because he is 100% a trope. Like we have seen his character in other stuff before. 100%, the guy who's like, I don't want anything to do with this, but she's just so dazzling. There's something about her that I'm drawn to.
And there's the side view of him kissing her hands, like that whole
And he always looks like a smug asshole, but like one person just happens to glance at him at a moment when he's gazing at her, and they're like, I've never seen his face so soft. Right? Like that's that sort of shit. I like that he's there because the other two dragons are so just like at that point are so she's perfect. Yeah. And we'll do anything for her. She's the best. We love her. And he's just like, okay, fuck.
Yeah. And he brings in the interesting point of view of like destiny versus free will. So it's like he knows who he is. He knows what he's supposed to do and that he feels that draw, but he's like, I don't want anything to be predetermined for me. Like, I want to be able to decide who I'm following and all of that. And so I kind of hope that they continue with that internal struggle a little bit in the future. Like, I feel like they resolved it. But I think it's a really interesting concept to have the person like, this is my destiny, but it's not what they want to do. And having that, conflict go on, I think would be really interesting to keep seeing.
See, I think he's really the only one that has the potential for like a long character arc, because from what I can really tell from the other dragons is that their character is basically already fleshed out and there's like no room for development, and it's just how they play into Yona's story. So I agree. I really hope that there's more to his development and eventually that he commits to Yona's cause and accepting who he is as a dragon. Like I would love to see that happen over a long period of time. I don't know. That is one sticking point for me with this manga, is that everyone just kind of seems to like really like quick to accept things.
Yeah.
And like once they've made their acceptance of it known, there's no real change after that.
Yeah, I agree with that. That was definitely a note that I had too, where it feels like, except for Yona, like all the other characters, it feels like they're all fleshed out to the point where what is there to like learn about them. And like how, like, I feel like we just know who they are. Like we can learn about their past or something, but it doesn't really matter because we know who they are, like what we're seeing, and we kind of have an idea about how they're going to react to stuff already.
Yeah, and I feel like it kind of tried to open up a door a little bit with I can't remember any of their names. With White Dragon.
I got him
Boy
written
and
down.
Dragon Boy. Oh my god.
Kija.
Which one is that?
White Dragon. That's White Dragon Boy.
Okay. When Kija was told like, do you really just want to be a puppet your whole life, right? And he had like little flashbacks to like, I can't believe you called me a puppet. I'm offended, right? And I was like, oh, is this gonna unlock like him kind of questioning what it is that he actually wants to do and who he actually is? But it didn't really go anywhere.
I know. I was disappointed in that too, because there is like they're obviously in an arc, and so it's always difficult to have like a mini arc within an arc. But I wish it could have been like that was brought up and then it just keeps getting touched on. Like it becomes this like a little insecurity thing. And maybe it will, but it was just brushed aside so quickly. And so it feels like there's not a whole lot of foreshadowing with the character development. There's a whole ton of foreshadowing with like, this is what's going to happen with War and Sunwa and all of that. Swoon. But yeah, it doesn't feel like there's any setup for the characters to prosper.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the word I wanted, but
prosper.
Progress.
For them to
Progress, there you go.
Yeah. Flourish.
What did you guys think about Wolf Boy? Like Lou said, we had the last of his arc at the end there. What do you guys think about him? And we're talking about characters who don't have very far to grow.
I mean, he's a sweet boy. He's precious.
Yeah.
But he's 100% a character like what Lou was talking about, where it's like, I literally can't guess what your arc is going to. Is there an arc here? Is anything going to change about you? I don't have a lot of faith that
He's just going to be really quiet.
Yeah, he's just going to be a really quiet, soft boy forever. I feel like.
Or like,
maybe not. I don't know.
He's gonna have like a big moment where he expresses a really big emotion and it changes the tide of a fight. Everyone will be like, oh. But yes, he's like real precious and all of that. But yeah, he doesn't seem to have much of a character beyond being like that sweet little innocent soul who's just like a big puppy dog and is like really good at fighting. There's almost times where it like feels like the characters have the power just so that they can be there to like fight and assist Yona in like her character development, which is fine because like the side characters are obviously supposed to be there to assist like the protagonist along. But there's times where it's just like, all right, they look really cool doing this fight thing. What other purpose were they there for? Like Hawk and I can't remember who he was fighting. If he was fighting with Wolf Boy, like alongside Wolf Boy, but during the whole like boat human trafficking rescue scene, like we literally only see them after they've beaten everybody up, and they're like, "You've beaten everybody up on this ship," and it's like, "Yep, that was all they were there to do. Was just beat people up." And we don't even get to see it. But,
I mean, like you got to look at it from the perspective of the mangaka.
Yeah.
Either they could draw all this action, or they could just cut to it later and say, "Hey, look, everybody's on the floor now."
Yeah.
Cool.
Right.
I relate. As somebody who writes action scenes, I can relate to that. Being like, ugh.
One of the moments where that really stuck out to me was when Yun and Yona were getting beat up on the boat, and it went from like, oh my gosh, where did these ladies come from? And then literally smash cut to them both like with bruises all over their face, and I was like, oh, did they beat them up? like there's definitely moments where we just kind of like hard cut to something happened, some kind of action happened.
Yeah.
I
did really like the build up and then payoff of Yona with the arrow, the bow and arrow. I thought that was one of the strongest, if not the strongest moments in the reading that we did. I
agree.
Yeah. It was.
I'm always a big fan of, and it's like super duper tropey, but I love it. I'm always a big fan of characters that are soft sweethearts that at some point are described as like, that was a wild look, or
yes,
like, that was the look of an animal, right? Like that sort of shit. I don't know why I love it when people are like, oh, they're harmless, and then they're like, not harmless, never mind.
Yes, I love that too. Yeah. It's such a good one. It's like when Kuroko would change his facial expression. You're just like, oh shit, emotion. Shit's getting real. Can I bird walk? But as a weeb parent, so Kaylee every daycare or every Friday her class does show and share. And so the letter of the week, they're supposed to bring something from home that starts with the letter of the week, and then they talk about it and then play with it with their friends. So this week was J, and I forgot about it until it was like 5 minutes after we were supposed to leave. And so I was like, all right, let's find something that starts with J. Let's do it. And we're walking around. And, like, J is such an obscure, like, letter to find just something around.
You can't immediately think of something.
Yeah. And so I was like, Kaylee, what does Kuroko wear? And she's like, he wears the black basketball clothes. I was like, that's called a jersey. And so she took my little like fluffy Kuroko plush that has the black basketball jersey on it. I was like, all right, everything's prepared me for this. And it worked. I was like, okay, cool. Parenthood.
Yeah.
But anyway.
The only thing,
A+.
the only toy that I can think of that starts with a J is like jump rope.
Yeah, that's what
Jax?
Jax. She went jacket. I was like, oh, you want to bring a jacket? And she goes, no. I was like, then why did you bring it up? Anyway, I
want you to know that she knew something that started with a J.
Did I tell you about her birthday cake? I feel like I did. The tiger thing.
I did see the tiger cake.
Okay, so sorry. Another bird walk.
Another bird walk, yeah.
But this is like actually one of my favorite things that Kaylee has ever done. So she, for the last the month before her birthday, I kept asking her what she wanted her cake to look like, and it kept changing. The only thing that stayed the same was that she wanted a tiger made of fondant, or like a tiger on top. She hates tigers. Like, she hates tigers. She is scared of them. She can't watch cartoons that have a tiger in them because they scare her. She always makes this change. So I'd be like, Kaylee, do you want a tiger on your cake? And she'd be like, yeah. And then I'd say, do you like tigers? And she goes, no. But the whole month, that never changed. It always stayed the same. And then when the baker opened up the box for Kaylee to see it, the colors were completely wrong. Like, the baker did the colors wrong on accident.
Yeah.
But Kaylee was totally fine with it because there was a tiger on top of her cake. And the same thing, the baker's like, oh, do you love tigers? And Kaylee just goes, no.
See, she wanted something edible so she could assert dominance.
Right, yeah. If she eats the tiger, she'll no longer be scared.
It's like you are so... And everybody's face when they found out, they were just like, oh, I didn't know she likes it. And she'd just be like,
that's
what?
amazing.
Kids are weird, man. Kids are weird. Our youngest, Judah, has decided that he wants to be a happy tree for Halloween. I have no idea where he got this idea. No clue. And we've been trying to persuade him to do other things. And it's just no. He's like, no, I'm going to be a happy tree. And he gets really angry.
He gets angry.
Kids
about
are
that.
weird.
Cute. They are. They're amazing.
It's too much, man. It's too much.
I love it. The innocent.
Doing any of that. But she did say no for the first time today. Sam and I looked at each other like, oh God, it's starting.
What did she say no about?
You can say. We were eating curry and I handed her water and said, do you want water? And she goes, no. I was like, oh my God, that was a very clear no. And we tried again later, like, you should really have some water, honey. You haven't had any water in a while. And she goes, no. I was like,
it begins.
Good luck with that.
Begins. You're just like, you yourself are like, no.
Yeah, literally.
Anyway. I know, I'm trying to think. Yeah. So, what
did you guys think about Zeno?
Oops, there he is. Oop, there he is. I was like I said earlier, I was like, it is kind of refreshing to just have them be like, all right, this has happened, like, he's here. But there's also, more I think about it, this element of where it feels stagnant. Like, right now, the story, it feels like it kind of needed that to expand a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like, the more that I was just working through it in my head just now, like, it's so kind of unclear about where it's going with the antagonist that having that happen so quick, there's no build up to whatever is going to happen. And we can talk about Suwon after this too. But it just, it kind of, I think, put a halt to something that was paced pretty well at that point. So, I mean, he's a fluffy little boy. But yeah, his entrance, I think was kind of a weird.
I'm honestly really surprised, that we found them all so fast.
Yeah.
Like, to say there are 4 dragons and then just have the very first dragon be like, I can sense other dragons.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, well, I guess that's going to be pretty easy. And then by the time you get to the 4th one, you're like, that was pretty easy.
I mean, on the other hand, like, I appreciate that they didn't drag it out forever.
Yeah.
Because it could have been like that, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Or, like, maybe the fact that the characters are already kind of fleshed out kind of made it difficult to drag out the process, because what are they going to do over the course of the journey? You know?
Yeah, and that makes me, like I was saying, curious about where what the journey is, too. And we did kind of get a clear idea about, like, what Yona wants, and what she wants to do, just because up to that point, it was kind of, I mean, with her character, because at that point, like, she was a princess. She didn't have to think about what she was going to do with her life. She kind of already knew. So she was just kind of lost, and then after the pirate arc, realized what it is that she does want to do, which was a nice beat for her character development. So I'm hoping that now that it's established that, we'll go in a certain direction. But yeah, it's curious. I'm very curious. What did you guys think about Suon being in the city, popping up, meeting with Yona? He's the baddie. I'm so unaffected by him. I don't know about you guys. So, like, unimpressed, and not, like, I could care less about him. When he popped up, I was like, oh no, Yona. Like, oh. But then I didn't care about, like, I just don't care about him very much. Which made, like, is I think another sticking point in terms of arcs and goals for the end. It's like, I don't really I'm not invested in his arc. And then the last few chapters we read, where it was him going to, like, the general and stuff, like, I don't know. I was very just meh.
Yeah, I think that sort of stuff can be really like how you were saying that we're at a point in the story right now where it's, like, kind of hard to tell what's supposed to be happening or what, like, direction things are going right now. And I think that kind of a story pause where it's like, yo, let's check in with the antagonist. What's this guy up to? You know, sometimes that can create a lot of suspense, like, oh shit, the good guys don't know, right? The good guys don't know. And it just didn't really, I didn't really care about any of that.
Yeah. What about you, Lou?
Yeah. Like, I'll echo what you guys said. I was really unaffected by him showing up. He didn't really have any impact in that moment. And honestly, I was kind of, like, invested in where the story was, like, the arc that we were in when it happened. So there was, like, no real impact to it.
Yeah.
I will say that I need him to be more of an asshole if I'm supposed to, like, really want, like, you know, like, the whole idea of, like, setting up a villain to get the reader really invested in seeing that villain fail. Like, that's what I need, and I haven't really gotten enough of that from this manga.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think that there's an attempt being made, because, like, at the beginning of the whole story, right, there was this feeling of, like, wow, he's so sweet and perfect, and, like, Yona loves him so much, right? And then there's the betrayal moment.
Yeah.
And I think trying to, like, recapture that feeling of he's not that sweet person, right? He's like I don't know. I think there's an attempt being made there for, like, an emotional pull, and it's just not really working.
It feels like he's, like, very two-faced, but not clever and like not close enough to the villain side to pull either one off. Like it seemed like they were trying to make him very, I'm trying to think of the character I'm thinking of, but just very like charming, but is actually like cunning. I think cunning is the word I'm thinking of. But he was too middle ground between like everything is thought out and strategic and airhead, like light airhead playing thing. And so it just felt like he was trying to play both roles and both of them were so bland that he wasn't succeeding at either of them.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of how I felt. Yeah, it was just, I don't know. It felt like a filler arc for me. Like they felt like filler chapters that should have just been like one-offs. So that would kind of worry me for the future chapters, future story, because it's like, what is the conflict that Yona and team are going to be facing up like against soon?
Right.
You know, like they're leading into like with the politics of the whole city. Like there's the evil dude who took over the city when the pirates saved the city. Like there's some politics stuff that they're hinting to there with like a future war, but it's just, yeah. Let's talk about art.
Yeah, the art's great. There's still like a couple of characters that I still think White Dragon and Yun look way too similar.
Too similar.
Way
agreed.
too similar. Like, sometimes I absolutely think that it's Yun talking, and I'm like, oh wait, there's a big old dragon hand attached to that boy. Never mind, different character. But for the most part, all of the characters have like their own looks, their own styles. It's a rare occurrence, but it's still obnoxious to have two of the main characters look so similar.
And there's times where they have like the same personality too. Like they'll say something that sounds like it could come from either of them. And so like it's not even just same face syndrome, it's like same hair syndrome too. If you can't see the like feather in Yun's hair, then you don't know which, or like the dragon hand of Kita, you just don't know for sure which one it is. Yeah, I agree with that. Definitely.
I mean, I like the art a lot, especially Yona's character design. There are a few like moments that are really impactful, and I feel like the artist is able to like really convey emotions in her like through her expressions really well. So yeah, like just generally speaking, I like the art. I really don't have any problems with it, apart from what like you guys mentioned. You know, those two characters having very similar looks. But you know, aside from that, generally speaking, like from a technical standpoint, this is very polished and well done.
It feels like very traditionally inspired and updated. Like it feels like it's 100%, I think, inspired by like Sailor Moon and Card Captors and stuff.
Definitely.
So you can totally see the influence there, but it's definitely its own style as well. And it's very clean and polished. It doesn't feel messy at all, while still lending it to a very soft, kind of soft style too. So I love whenever Yona has an emotional moment, like just nails that so well, because the mangaka does a really good job of portraying emotions without dialogue, so like showing instead of telling. And so during those big emotional moments, it's just either one big panel or just panels without dialogue and stuff like that. And they're done very well. Like you can clearly tell what's happening and what's going on for the most part too.
One now that I'm thinking, you know, I'm reflecting on what we've discussed so far, and one thing that we mentioned earlier was how they would cut into after the fighting or whatever action scene happened. And like the art is really well done, but the exclusion of those panels, I think, was a shortcoming that definitely needs to be highlighted. Because I feel like the artist may have made a conscious decision to avoid drawing the more complex panels, to avoid having to sacrifice the quality of the art, to convey those things. Which the thing is, like that fighting, while not necessarily important to the story, adds to the tension of the moment. And I think really helps convey like what the characters are experiencing.
Yeah.
So while it's not a direct critique of the art, I question the decision to exclude those things from what we were able to see.
Yeah. And action is like so hard, especially with fighting. And you see that in a lot of shoujo manga where that might happen. I'm trying to think, there's one I feel like recently that we read that had the fight scenes that was like really like well done. I don't remember what it is though. Am I thinking? Oh, which one that you really like, Brooke?
Atelier.
Yeah. I think that's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah. They do really good with the action in that series. But yeah. I will say that the chibi forms are real cute. Like nailed the little like fluffy little things. I think one of my favorite ones is near the like and when right after they find Zeno and you just like, all right, so unexpectedly everybody is together. We've done that, and all of them are just like, yay! Like they do, yay! And then when Hawk is, I screenshotted it, so I remembered when Hawk is talking about how Green Dragon flies, and it's just a picture of him going, I'm taking off now, and he's like this. And Green Dragon goes, I think I fly a little bit more elegantly than that. She's just like, I'm going.
I know. I love moments like that. Like I can't remember what character it was, but one of the characters talking to the Green Dragon and being like, man, you remind me so much of Hawk. And Hawk in the corner like, don't say that. Like, we're nothing alike. Don't compare us.
Awesome. Do you guys have anything else you want to bring up?
No, I think I'm good.
Yeah.
I think so too. All right, final thoughts and ratings.
I'll go first.
Yeah, go for it.
If you guys don't mind. All right, so going into this reading, I remembered that I really liked this manga, and I did enjoy this section of reading, but as we talked through this, like I kind of like came to the conclusion that this is not as strong a section of reading as what we had previously read, because the first 4 volumes, which was the last time we read this, like set up the framework for the entire story, and the stakes were really high, and you're seeing a lot of like the groundwork for Yona's change in character, like really being built up. Like all of that is in the first batch of reading, so this is definitely a step in the wrong direction. I like that they kind of got over the whole looking for the dragons. I feel like that was an impediment to progress for the story. I feel like there should have been another mechanism for that, where they wouldn't have to do 3 separate arcs to like or to bring in the rest of the dragons. I feel like there should have been a different approach.
Right.
That said, if I have to give this a number score, I'd probably give this section of reading like a 7 out of 10, maybe a 6.5 out of 10. The art is really solid, as we mentioned earlier, and like there are like quirky, fun character moments, and Yona, when she has the opportunity to like really shine, really does like stand out as a protagonist. But overall, this section of reading was not as good as I was hoping.
Yeah, I think I'd probably give it like a 7 or a 7.5. I think that's fair. I still really enjoyed it, but yeah, it didn't have the like dramatic, interesting moments that the first part had.
Yeah,
because that's when so much went down that like steered us in the direction of the reading that we just did. So it just didn't have as much impact, which was fine. And I still enjoyed reading it. But yeah, I would definitely agree. It was still good and the art's great. But I do hope, like we were saying before, I do hope that we start to see more conflict. And I'm not just saying that for the sake of like drama in a shoujo. I just want to see, like, we've got all of these interesting characters, and I want to see the mangaka do something with them that's character driven.
Yeah, I think I had a black rain frog in my throat again. I agree. I think a 7, that's where I was kind of landing, is where I'm at with it. Like, it's good. It's a solid story so far. My biggest qualm with it right now is the antagonist and just how weak a character and what he's doing is. But I also hope that, like what Dodger said, that they take these characters and do something with them. But it was a solid arc. Like, what we got, the arc that we got was really interesting. It was fun. We got to see Yona expand her character development and take a step towards who she's wanting to be with the arrow, like the first time where she like really conquered the bow and arrow and killed that dude. You can just there's a big sticking point in her character that's gonna just completely change and is like going. So yeah, I think it was effective for everything it wanted to do and wanted to be in this, aside from Sunwoo. But yeah, I would still totally read more and recommend it to people. Like, I think it's a nice modern shoujo to read. So yeah, I give it a 7. So there you guys go. There is our discussion on, Hawk is bae. He is bae. He just didn't do a whole lot this section of reading.
He didn't. No. He licked Yona's hand once.
Oh, I guess he did do that.
Yeah.
I guess they did.
Like, I've really got to get my desires under.
There was the whole, I forgot about that, where she wanted to train with a sword and like nobody would let her. And so she's finally like, fine, I will do it myself, and is off doing it. And he does, like, it is a nice moment with him where he's like, all right, I want to protect her, but she does need to, like, do her own thing and grow. So it was a nice moment between them, and acknowledging that just because you're the man in this, like, shoujo fantasy doesn't mean that the girl is the damsel in distress all the time. And so that was a very nice thing to see coming from the love interest. It wasn't just like, you need to stay inside because it's not a woman's job. Like, it was really refreshing. I thought it was nice to have that there. Like, he's acknowledging it too, which I think adds more.
We also, I mean, in the we also had the moment where she was like, I'm going to go on that steep cliff and I'm going to get that plant and you can't fucking stop me. And he was like, I really want to save her. And at the same time, like, fuck, that was awesome.
Yes.
Like, he's getting behind the idea of her being a badass for sure. We've seen like glimpses of that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's awesome. All right, cool. That wraps up our discussion of Yona of the Dawn. I am going to... Stupid long descriptions. I'm going to read the description for the manga that we are reading next week. You guys in chat get to guess what it is. I will give you a hint that we have read this one before. All right. Somewhere in Russia, a deal has been successfully completed. Danger looms over the horizon. A deadly blank capable of killing within 3 hours has now fallen into the hands of a mysterious woman named Blank. Enter Blank, a seemingly ordinary student in Japan. However, very few know that he was famed for exposing crimes and corruption of high-profile individuals with his brilliant hacking powers. The infamous Blank, who had abruptly vanished from the cyber world. Only the members of Third Eye, a top-secret division of the Public Security Intelligence Agency led by Blank's father and his friend Blank, know of his past. When a KGB agent is murdered in Japan, the only clue to his death is a memory chip found at the scene of the crime. Fujiwara, is recruited by Third Eye to decode the chip, which contains a video file of an event called The Blank. Investigating the incident further, Fujiwara's father uncovers more information about the homicide in a mysterious code, Blank, before being framed for the murder of his superior. Now it is up to the hacker Fujiwara to utilize his expertise to help Third Eye prevent the spread of terror and destruction in Japan while attempting to clear his father's name.
That was a long description.
I know, and I was like, I can't remember enough about this manga to shorten it.
To just like shorten it? Yeah, I know.
Given. It's Given. Oh, Given is not Russian.
It is not Given, no.
No. But I've heard that anime is good. Have you guys seen how Twitter and like the internet's going crazy for Promare, the Studio Trigger
Promare.
movie? Yeah.
Oh.
Promare. It's going like crazy. Apparently it's really good. People have said it's real good.
Studio Trigger has been so hit or miss the last couple of years, I feel like.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that they've done like a really good movie.
Yeah. People said it's really good. I don't know if you guys are going to get it. We read it back in the like 20s. Not the 1920s, but like the 20s of the podcast. The episode number. It's a day of the week. Hang on, let's kind of like charades
Yes,
this.
yeah.
It's the day of a week.
Something you might see at a crime scene. And a day of the week.
Yeah. It's not Sunday, but it's blank day.
I mean, guys, there's
Hold on.
like literally you're telling me what it is.
Hold on. Hang on, everybody freeze. Do I have this picture? Hang on.
Monday Dagger.
Bloody Monday! Yay!
Yay!
Good job,
Here. I was gonna put this nice little gift to describe. Oh, it's freezing. It's going all weird.
Good.
That is not what was supposed to happen.
Welcome to MangaPod, where we talk about Thai dramas.
It was supposed to be little. I don't know what happened.
Aaron, when are you starting Drama Pod? You know you want to.
I should. Oh my god. Next week. See you in a week. Bye. Yes, we are reading Bloody Monday.
Volume 5 through 8, chapters 33 through 68.
Lou, you got me. There
I
it
would have
is.
helped, but I also did not know where to find that.
I was like, I knew it was in the chat. I just didn't know where it was. I was like, But I also wasn't very good at multitasking to pretend, like bullshitting to pretend like I knew where it was.
It's okay. I had the doc pulled up, so we're good.
Yeah, thanks, Lou. Let's go around and shout out our stuff super fast. I'm Erin at Happily Erin. I have a YouTube channel. I haven't updated it in a while, but if you're interested in my feelings on many different sorts of anime, you can go head over there. I have reviews and first impressions and all sorts of stuff like that. There's a bunch of manga pods there. I also do mental health awareness stuff. I've been pretty inactive because I'm working on a book. I'm on my third rewrite of it, so it's going. I'm going to be posting an update on the website very soon. We got like our art print and stuff, and I'm so excited.
Sick.
I love it so much. But you can find me on Twitter and Instagram, Happily Erin, all across the everything. I'm very active on there if you guys want to come chit chat. About Thai boy dramas.
About Thai boy dramas.
Come to me.
Hi everybody, I'm Dodger. You can find me at Dex Bonus on pretty much everything. I stream almost every day on twitch.tv/DexBonus. And I have a cute baby that I talk about a lot. And tomorrow, we were doing the Dodger Coffee Company 2-year birthday stream that I've lovingly called the Grindathon, which I'm so shocked no more than one person said was a bad idea. But the Grindathon is happening tomorrow at noon Pacific time. It is in partnership with NAMI, the mental health organization. So very excited about that. It should be fun. We're just going to have friends on and we're going to grind coffee and hang out. Should be good. So if you're free and you want something to watch, we would love to have you.
That sounds like fun. My name's Lou, and watch Dodger stream tomorrow. I don't have any like I could plug the anime podcast I do with friend of the show Dakota Broski, Anime Hour, youtube.com/anime hour. I think, I don't know, it's been a while. But anyways, watch Dodger stream. Always support good causes. And yeah, that's my stuff. Oh, and twitter.com/LouTalksAnime. So yeah, let's bullshit about anime on the internet.
Yeah. If you guys would like more MangaPod, we do have a subreddit, reddit.com/r/MangaPod. The recommendation thread is there if you want to go and check out, post anything you'd like us to check out if we haven't read it yet. We also, in addition to manga, we also do manhwa and Chinese comics, web comics as well. Thank you guys. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us on our Friday night. We really appreciate you guys. And we will be here next week on Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time talking Bloody Monday, volumes 5 through 8, chapters 33 through 68. So that is what we'll be doing. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hang on. I'm just going to hang on. I have numerous things to turn on here.
Bye.
Before we go. All right.
Bye.
There's
Bye.
rainbow.
Oh, good. Yes.
But, and then
Perfect.
here, let's just do this. Good. Who needs a splash screen when you have Ming?
It's true.
Bye.
Yes.
Splash screen. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.